Hello, Perceptive readers. This is a James Poeartistry moment. Imagination. Imagination. I would be one to tell you that if someone ever says you have to keep your sense of humor, then imagination, having one, is what enables you to keep your sense of humor. Yes, in the world that we are experiencing today, I always mention, yes, you have to stay positive. Uh, you do your best to also share your positivity with others. And then at the same time, you realize life at times can be very serious, just as much as life, as I've said in general, is simple. And yet the situations, and I would say sometimes a lack of imagination, is what make life complicated. Imagination does involve very much so the arts and even the sciences, you see. And that is one of the reasons why I continue to emphasize people should be able to express themselves in any type of way that they want to. Um, of course, there's a time and place for everything. So, and what if I'm going and see an opera or something like that? I'm just saying, in that type of setting or forum, then I'm not ready for somebody to come in and just start telling me, you know, what person I should like or dislike or what have you. I think, use your imagination on what I'm talking about in that way. So there's a time and place for everything, and I want to assure you that even though somebody may say, I do have the right or freedom of speech to talk about this. Yes, you do. But it doesn't mean that within my own personal space or boundaries that I have to stand there and listen to it or take it. You see? So I want to assure you that when people are talking about censorship at times, see, that's exactly what is happening, where people are expressing themselves on their websites, in their own occupation and niche, which this is what they decided to do. And then when the censorship comes, you see, it could be all because one person doesn't like it, and depending on how much they complain about it. But I'm telling you today, it was still no reason to censor that person or shut down their website just because somebody else didn't like it. You see, all that person had to do was, as you've heard others say, just don't read the person's website. You see, you don't have to go and do all that other stuff. So, with that being said, imagination. Here it is. We're in the fall season, winter season. You see that will approach also. We're going all into that line of thought. And, a lot of people go into their holiday modes. You see, their giving modes and expressing kindness and goodness in the way that they do, the way that they observe, whatever their festivals happen to be. They certainly have that right. You see what I'm saying? That freedom to do so. And so, with that being said, this little video that I have right here, I want to, again, share it with as many persons as I can share about your imagination, your creativity, your expressions. It all helps us to keep a sense of humor again about life. And we have those choices. And so for the persons who still say, well, make sure you're growing, make sure, you're maturing from the way that you thought here or there or what have you. And the only thing that I can relate in closing is this. It really does. It came from a wise man and his name was Solomon. And Solomon ended up saying, after everything that he had experienced, and let me tell you, Solomon experienced a lot. Don't you know, in the first 5 decades of his life, that man did experience so much and did so much that I'll tell you again, probably the majority of the people who live have never experienced it on that level. And all within 5 decades of short living, if you will, hard living, if you will, but he experienced it. And yet, and see, and God allowed him to do it and write books while he was doing it. For whatever reason that God is still highlighting, in his holy word, the Bible. But here is the point. At the conclusion, he still said, and look at me putting it in on my own words again. But it's in Proverbs, it's in Ecclesiastes at the end, that really the conclusion of the matter is, if you want life to truly have meaning, to be worth something of value, in the end of all matters, guess what? It ends. I want to say starts, but in the end of all matters, it really does involve the grand creator who has given us his personal name as well. Do you remember what his personal name is? All right. So that's why I said eventually every single one of us who's working towards the goal of being the best version of ourselves, we're going to end up with God, whether you realize it or not, in all matters. And you know what? We're going to still have our own imaginations and personalities. But I tell you what, we'll certainly be on the same sheet of paper on what it means to love God and to love your neighbor. Have a very wonderful day, Perceptive readers. Take care.